In this trade recap, I'm going to break down exactly how I found my daily bias on this day to make 4k on 2 funded accounts. It should have been more by the copy trader issue, so I ended up blowing 3 accounts, which is super annoying, as I said in my group. But we did end up making 8k roughly on the day on 2 accounts, so no complaints. Let's get in how I actually managed to do this. Boom. Boom. Let's get on the charts. I apologize, bit of different lighting. End up having to go do something before I could actually record the chart part of this video. But let's get into it now. Why I ended up taking this trade, and obviously secured 2 max payouts on Lucids from this trade. What I was seeing on the higher time frame, and this is probably why you're watching this video, for how I found my daily bias on a day like today. Overall, I'm more bearish or more bullish than bearish on the higher time frame, simply because we've a nice 4-hour V shape up, we have a 4-hour pullback and another V shape going back up to the upside with draws on liquidity above here, all these wicks up here. As we know now, they all went. Okay, when I'm recording this, they end up all going. Later on in like overnight in Asia session, I'm recording the next day, so they end up going. But for New York AM session, I was more bearish, and here's why I was bearish. When I go on to the hourly time frame right here, when it wants to move to the hourly time frame, I end up having to cut that because that took an hour for some reason. But anyways, that ended up happening. So what I was seeing was we had an internal sweep in liquidity right here. We didn't end up taking out this high up here. Completely fine. Don't need this high to be took out if I'm looking for shorts. If we get a very nice trade down, which we end up getting right here with this hourly inverse down. Okay, when I seen that nice hourly V-shape down, I'm going to be looking at the internal draws on liquidity. Areas price can reverse off to go back to the upside. And for me, this low here and this low down here are the 2 key lows that price is going to want to take out one of these lows before going higher. In my opinion, it's going to be this low here. I expect price to reverse back the upside in this area right here. From this area here, I'm expecting it. This low here, in my opinion, should not get swept. This low here might before going up. This low definitely, in my opinion. So that's what I was looking at for the day. So this was my main draw on liquidity for the day. Obviously, I'm going to be targeting the first wick if I can get to it. If not, I can look for some continuation trade to the second wick. Now, I obviously need an entry. Can't just enter because I think it's going there. I need confirmation. What I seen in this example here, when I draw my fib tool out, I can see with an unfilled 15-minute gap that we tapped into off open. Let's have a look at that right there. Boom. We tap into that off open, as well as sweeping this high here inside a 15-minute gap. We end up respecting this one here. I'll get rid of this here. Again, if we're looking for continuation trades to draws on liquidity on the lower time frame, ideally we're entering in premium or price is delivering from premium. Okay, they're the main 2 things, or the main thing we most likely need for a trade to the downside. Okay, had the sweep there, going to the hourly, swept inside the gap again, respecting that inversion. Everything's telling me bearish. We never end up taking out this wick here. We stacked the low just before right there. Boom. So here's what I'm looking at. Okay, I end up trying to get into shorts a bit higher. On some accounts I did, some I didn't, blah, blah, blah. End up having a copy trader issue, as I said, and lost basically 3 accounts that had low balances. Unfortunately, entered on the wrong contract, and the copy trader didn't work properly. Anyways, not the big deal. I got my payouts out of the accounts and ended up securing 2 other max payouts on Lucid. So to be honest, made money on the day. I'll take. I'm not going to complain. Okay, I can get 3 evals back, or 3 fund accounts back in 2 days or 3 days, whatever it takes. Price here ends up chopping around a bit. What I also seen was this was an SMT off open. This high here should not have been gone back to. When this candle closed down here and we got rejection, this is a valid trade in my opinion. Again, not for my model. Okay, not for my model. But this is a valid trade for 1 hour right there. A trade like that. Because price, in my opinion, should not go back to this high right here before delivering back down to this low down here. This should be a protected high, and as you can see, it obviously did end up delivering down. Obviously, as you're going to see, it does end up delivering down towards our draw on liquidity and ends up hitting TP if you took this trade. That's a very discretionary trade. I trade a model, okay? So I don't take them. I do have accounts for that, but I don't talk about that online, okay? Here is what I was seeing. So price, unfortunately, we never really got a great entry. Got break even here. And as you can see, we lows down here. We're obviously targeting this 4-hour low, our key low. So I'm going to need some sort of pullback, which thankfully we end up actually getting. And let me skip back a candle. That is where I entered. But let's break down why I entered. I didn't just enter for the sake of entering because it started going back down again. If I get my tool out again on the move that's pushed us down, we've actually tapped into discount of this little move. Again, people need to be using their tools or their premium discount more, in my opinion. We're in premium of the range. If we're in premium of the range and we're looking for shorts, that's a very good sign for us if we tap into and deliver lower. As you can see, respected beautifully. We end up respecting a 30-second gap right here. It's also a tiny 1-minute gap. You might not have spotted that. Still a valid gap, in my opinion, right there. Let me get, there we go, okay? 1-minute gap gets respected. We end up getting a very nice delivery down. It was a better 30-second gap, but again, I'm not going to get that up, and it's going to show it was a 1-min. Was a 30-second gap, okay, a little bit bigger, so you can take it. Again, I just wanted to get in short on this trade, so to be honest, that's where I entered. Stops at this wick up here, and then I was targeting the low down here for about 1.25 RR. Again, as I've said, I end up getting more on the other accounts I mentioned, and I'm making 4.5k on 2 accounts, which is very good. On this trade and another one up here, I end up getting like 2k profit I shouldn't have. It was over risk by accident. As I've said, I had a copy trader issue. Blah blah blah. You're sick of me saying it now, but let's see how the trade plays out. And there you go. Delivers straight to TP. Just a very nice, simple continuation trade. I'm not panicking when price is coming down here. I'm waiting till my model appears to take a trade to the downside. If you FOMO'd in or not FOMO'd in, but there is a valid trade over here where there's 2 fair value gaps right here that are being respected. If you did end up taking this inversion, this up here has to be your stop loss, in my opinion, for how I like to trade anyways, and I am my group should have had their stop loss at this high if they're taking this short. And again, everyone in the group kind of knows the story on this type of trade. This is the break even. Obviously the wick down here, you're obviously looking for the other wick, and then you're obviously minimum target 1 hour, and you would have got it, so the buys would have hit on that as well. I think 1 or 2 people in the group took this trade. Me and a few others took this trade down here, and a few others caught some more shorts for the day. Great to see everyone had the same bias, which is sick, in the private corner of my Discord, obviously. Not to promo myself, but there you go. I was promoting myself, not gonna lie. Not even gonna try and lie about it. So yeah, that was another very valid trade in my opinion. If you took this short, to be honest, you would have actually liked the price came up here. You wouldn't have liked that part, but when the price displays down, that's a very good sign for you, because this shows that's the manipulation before taking out the low, and then we should not skyrocket because that's going up, plummet. So shoot to the downside, which we did. So you would have been very happy seeing this. Obviously, you would end up hitting TP on this position. So that's the trade I took. Obviously, I said I took this trade here. So I took this continuation trade right here. And then, yeah, that is it. And I end up securing another 4k pay on Lucid. Unfortunately, we end up losing about 6k in balances. Not the best you can do. End up losing about, well, it was less actually. It's about 1.5k across 3 accounts, about 4.5k. Obviously, made 8k on the day, and it was on 2 accounts that only had 1 payout. So, not going to complain. As I've said, can get 2 max payouts with them, so like 8k in payouts secured with winning days. Just need to get the other accounts back. I'll just trade my other funded accounts until I get them back and all in a line. So that's the trade I took today. Everyone, if you want to learn my model, there's videos on YouTube. I have a free Discord, videos on Instagram, videos on TikTok. Obviously, you have the group if you want to come in. Obviously, that's a paid section. But I do live trading, back testing, more kind of interacting with me. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Peace.